Hey guys, it's me, Tyler McLay, Rex Coaching. I want to run you through a concept that I absolutely love. I'm absolutely obsessed with. I developed this as I was coaching students through the nurturing phase. Okay, we are in a industry that is very heavily dependent on the relationships we can build with our clients. And I kind of took this from the concept that you wouldn't really propose on the first date. Right? You go out on a first date, you're not going to propose, you're not going to ask for everything on that very first interaction. You have to get yourself there. You have to work yourself to get to that point. And it's the exact same thing in real estate, trying to align our asks with our level or impact of relationship in a very relationship based sales business. Okay, so this concept is called the 15 in 21. 15 touch points in the first 21 days after generating a brand new lead. And you might be saying, Ty, that is nuts. That is ludicrous. How am I going to touch base 15 times in 3 weeks without my leads getting frustrated with my outreach, with my asks? That's not the point. This is full value delivery. We are going to be specifically delivering value based on two simple concepts, okay? So on one hand, you've got my four big things, my four, I suppose, categories or buckets of value. You've got community insights and news, you've got infrastructure developments, you've got home maintenance tips, anything to do with home, and then you've got market, okay? So you've got those four buckets that you can align your value with, okay? Now the five on this side in terms of my funnel, I generally go macro, micro market, micro market, subject, property or community. Then I get into the sales, the recent sales, relevant sales, and then the actively for sale. So on the listing side, the competition, or on the buy side, the options in the marketplace. Ultimately, what I want to do is I want to choose one of my four buckets of value: community, home, infrastructure, market, and one of my five funnel pieces. Generally I go top to bottom: macro, micro, subject, comparable solds, and actively available. And I try to align them both and put them into some sort of context or some sort of delivery for my client. The one piece that often gets overlooked, very, very often gets overlooked, is the delivery method here. There are high impact delivery methods, and then there are low impact delivery methods. For example, a phone call or a door knock would be high impact. An Instagram DM or a voice note may be of lower impact. The lowest impact is probably an email. Highest impact is booking a meeting or getting in front of the client, and everything else in between falls along that spectrum. Okay? So one of the four, one of the five, we align and we deliver it using the appropriate delivery method for that stage in the relationship. Now the goal here, the ultimate goal here, is to get my hooks into the client enough that if I don't speak to them for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, if they're not in a rush, if they're not urgently looking to buy or sell property, I'm going to have my hooks in enough that I've built that bond, I've built that relationship, that I can just kind of put them on more of a standard drip, more of an automated drip. But I can't name one agent that I know that's in the top 1% that doesn't actively work their leads. Yes, there's great automations. Yes, we've got AI. Yes, we've got all these fun and fancy things we can do, but there's nothing that'll ever replace the personalization that we can offer with our own, again, relationship building and communication. Okay, so let's give you an example. I'm going to run you through a sample 15 and 21. Okay, I am going to put the low impact delivery methods early on at the beginning of the process, and the more higher impact toward the end. What I need to do here is I need to implement asks along the way. These are not asks for business, but they're asks for opportunity. Don't get the too convoluted. Okay, we're not asking for the business every step of the way, but we're asking for the opportunity for the next step. So let's give you an example. Just recently, I was on a showing, and I'm in the elevator. There's a gentleman working in the elevator, a maintenance guy, and he goes, "Oh, are you a real estate agent?" He saw my folder and my stuff, and he said, "Are you a real estate agent?" I said, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "You sell in this building? Do you sell downtown?" I said, "Yes, I do. How can I help you?" Literally, elevator ride. I had 25 seconds. He goes, "Well, my daughter's looking for a place. I'd love to chat with you." I said, "Okay, no problem." Very low impact, very out of nowhere lead. Okay, there's leads everywhere. There's potential everywhere when you put yourself out there. So I gave him my card. I got his phone number, and I followed up with him the next day. I launched my 15 in 21. I said, hey, so great meeting you. I wish I had more time to discuss your daughter's plans and your decision-making kind of criteria here. Can you tell me more about what she's looking for and what she wants? I'd love to get a better understanding of you. That was a text. That was number one. Okay. He gave me some insight. He told me what they're looking for. Studio condo, downtown Toronto, walkable to Subway because she doesn't have a car. That's simple. Great. Right away, I took community and macro. I aligned the two and I sent him a text and I said, here's an article you should share with your daughter. Give this a read. This supports your thought that the timing today makes sense, especially for the Toronto market. Community with macro. Great. I'm already at 2 and it's been only 1 day. From there, I amplified and I asked for his daughter's email. I copy both of them on the emails and I send some micro information on some communities that they might like. So now you can see where I'm going with this, from macro to micro, and I align that one now with infrastructure. So I take some points on infrastructure and the walkability to different nodes, different pockets, different transit hubs, and I align that with different micro markets in this community. I delivered this via email. Now what I did here is I then followed it up with a video. Okay, a simple iPhone video, and I just said, hey guys, I just sent you an email, ran you through a few of my favorite communities, walkable to transit, with some context as to why. Help me out, narrow them down. I would love the opportunity, asking for opportunity, to send you more info on the communities that you like. Perfect. Video plus email, now I'm at 4, and it's only been 2 days, right? So you see where I'm going with this. I'm not overstepping. I'm not asking for business. I'm not stretching a cold elastic and losing the business. Hey, you ready to go look at property? Hey, do you want to go see property? I need to prep them, make them feel comfortable, make them feel confident in what they're looking for, reinforce their idea that what they're doing makes a lot of sense, so that then I can get to the point to ask them out on a date, ask them out to see property. You understand? So I think you get the flow. From there, what I did next was, for my 5th touch, this was on day 3, after they got back to me, I said, hey, thanks so much for this great insight. I'll get back to you shortly. There's my 5th one. Every touch, every text, email, communication counts as one of the 15 and 21. Okay? You get the idea. And so on and so forth. I continued this trend of pairing one of my 4 buckets of value with my sales funnel, macro, micro, subject. I got into the subject locations. Then I got into sharing some of the solds to give them context on price. Then eventually I got into what's available in the market. Now they're comfortable in the macro conditions of our market. They're comfortable in the micro communities they're looking in. They're comfortable in the subject pockets or buildings specifically that we're exploring. And then they get an idea of prices and what these units are ultimately selling for, so that the context of the list price makes sense. It's a very simple funnel. There's a lot of different concepts I'm going to throw at you here. If you have questions, you all know how to reach me. I hope you know how to reach me. Text me, call me, Google me. I'm really easy to find, okay? Now, in terms of the value I'm offering on the side, there's going to want to be some reason or some push or some motivation to get to that next step, to ask more questions, okay? To give myself the opportunity to continue working with this client. And after maybe the first 7 days, there would be absolutely no reason for this individual to reach out to anyone else. I've given them context. I've given them info, okay? I've delivered the value they need to make educated decisions in this process, okay? Now, ultimately, when I get closer to the end, okay, I'm going to skip forward to the end. If you want more info on this, reach out to us. We've got a guide. We've got some resources for you. Check out our website. Tons of stuff on rexcoaching.com. And if you don't mind, make sure you're following us on Instagram as well. Make sure you're following us at Rex Coaching on Instagram, okay? We post a ton of value, ton of insight, breakdowns, conversational frameworks, strategies, tips and tricks for agents. You're going to love it, so make sure you're following us there. Now, when I get closer to the end, this is where I can implement those higher impact asks that align with my impact scale, okay? This is where my delivery method might shift to more voice notes, more videos, more meetings, and I can ask them out to go see properties, maybe attend an open house, maybe do an exploratory day, maybe do a community walk day, okay? I want to get creative to get my hooks into this client. Now, if she changed her mind toward the end of these 21 days and she said, you know what, I'm going to hold off a little bit, no problem. I know I'm her agent. She knows I've got the value to deliver at any point in time, and I'm capable of answering any questions they may have, okay? Some of the value I provide near the end would be something like a buyer guide, the steps involved in the buying process, some actions that she could be taking now, his daughter could be taking now to better prepare herself. Okay, what I want to do is throughout this process, I want to answer the questions before they're asked. And early on in the process, some agents go way too quick for sending listings, or some agents go way too quick with, have you spoken to a mortgage broker? We're not even there yet. Let's explore and reinforce the idea that what you want to do is correct, is accurate, makes sense. Okay? I can amplify the impact of my asks by showing property, asking what makes sense, showing property, asking those questions about financial capabilities and resources and basically the process. Here's what happens when we offer. She doesn't need to know what happens when we offer when we're exploring markets. Okay? It's like my mechanic telling me when I buy a brand new car that, hey, just so you know, in 9 years' time, when you sell this car, you might have to change the tires for the 4th time. What? Dude, we're not even there yet. We're not even there yet. Okay? It's not even a consideration now. I can touch on certain things. I can touch on them, but I'm not going deep into detail on anything that's not relevant to the conversation today. And this is why I've deployed my 1 to 7 structure for the sales process, is to avoid agents trying to go from a 1 to a 7 too quickly, stretching a cold elastic, snapping, losing the client altogether because the impact of our asks too early on do not align with the client's level of sophistication or confidence or relationship that we've been able to acquire. So anyway, there's a lot more on the 15 and 21. Ultimately, I hope you understand the concept. We have to implement 15 touches in the first 21 days using a variety of contact methods, using a variety of delivery methods, letters, voice notes, calling, video content, DMs, chats, emails, you name it. There's no lack of resources to get information to our clients. Most important takeaways: make sure the frequency is there early on, and also make sure that what you're sending is valuable. Okay? Make sure that the level of impact in your ask for the next opportunity aligns with the relationship that you're building and working on with your client. Anyway, I'm Tyler McLay with Rex Coaching. I really hope that the 15 and 21 structure helps you as much as it's helped a lot of our coaching clients that have seen incredible, results in this business that we know and love so much. So if you want to know more information, book a call with us on our website, rexcoaching.com. Follow along our journey on Instagram. And if you want to get in touch with us, we're really easy to find. Have a great day, guys. Happy selling.